Hello my fellow fashion lovers, I hope you're doing well. I'm so happy to have you back. Get comfortable because what lies ahead today is a pretty wild trip through time. Destination: Paris for the Stéphane Rolland Haute Couture Spring-Summer 2025 show. Today the designer offers us an incredibly high-level artistic dialogue, fusing the stage grace and activism of Joséphine Baker with the radical purity of sculptor Constantin Brancusi. A direct bridge between the vibrant humanism of the Roaring Twenties and modern abstraction. The setting sets this tension immediately. We're at the Salle Pleyel, a temple of music. The lights grow dim. The atmosphere feels like anything but a simple display of frivolous luxury. It's as if this artistic solemnity is suddenly pierced by a deeply human emotion. To understand the approach, we have to look through a specific lens, or rather, look at an obsession-inhabited movement. Rolland isn't trying to make museum clothes. He uses the memory of Baker's Rainbow Tribe to breathe a sense of brotherhood into his lines. Personally, I find that this is where the show truly starts to get fascinating. The couturier appropriates Brancusi's geometry to make it feel alive, almost organic. Pairing the structural rigor of a sculpted line with the soul of a rebellious dancer is the show's ultimate manifesto. The allure is imperial and ultra-dynamic. The models stride forward with a theatrical posture, heads held high, projecting an impressive, commanding frame. At this point, you feel like Rolland isn't just trying to dress a body anymore. He's almost sculpting the wind, making immense gazer draperies take flight with every single step. The silhouette becomes a complete hybrid. Setting the tone are these sharp, square, almost graphic shoulders, while the body underneath remains totally free to move. If we look closer at the construction of the garments, the transition is gorgeous. We start with very pure, minimalist lines that gradually transform into monumental abstractions. Beneath the surface lies a real trade secret, hidden interior structures supporting a draped black velvet jacket that seems to float on the body without any visible fastening. Further down the line, the technique fades away to make room for a satin crepe sarong skirt that hugs the legs with millimeter-precise fluid movement. The most interesting contrast comes next, with a radical color shift. Pure ivory and optical white cross paths with deep browns and flashes of silver. Visually, it looks as though the clothing has already lived multiple lives, oscillating between ebony and crystal. The big organic shot comes from a long tunic in brown gauze, layered over ebony organza. It's embroidered with oud and crystals, catching the light with every movement in an almost hypnotic way. To break the usual coldness of the runway, Rolland plays around with precious and deeply intimate finishes. The embroideries aren't just there to look pretty, they tell a story of understated opulence. We zoom in on textural details where the matte velvet absorbs the light while the satin reflects it. It's these small tactile details that take the seriousness out of haute couture, making it feel physical and real. The show is paced like an acceleration, a rhythmic crescendo. We start with black and white geometric rigor and slide toward an increasingly warm, poetic color palette. The mid-show surprise, the play on sheer organza transparencies, completely revives the rhythm. The climax of the finale is marked by a silhouette, fusing a Brancusi-esque architectural precision with the sweeping motion of a fluid train. It's probably the silhouette that best sums up this entire collision between stone and feather. So of course we have to ask the question, is this ultrastructure actually wearable in the everyday reality of haute couture? Walking with such radical volumes, such broad shoulders, and these heavy layers of fabric is a highly polarizing stylistic gamble. Some will see a theatrical grandiosity that's hard to justify at an event. But to me, it's a genuine success because it captures the very essence of couture, fashion that refuses the compromise of banality to offer absolute freedom. What I love about this collection is that it never stops at empty showmanship. Behind the spectacular volumes, you can feel a genuine emotion and a real artistic reflection. Stéphane Rolland proves to us that clothing can cross different eras, while celebrating powerful values like grace and unity. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this collision. Do you validate these geometric volumes inspired by Brancusi? Or do you think this textile architecture strays a bit too far from the body's natural fluid shape? Thank you for sharing this moment with me. To sharpen your own eye on collections that pull from modern art, don't hesitate to dive back into Brancusi's work at the Centre Pompidou Atelier. That's often where the keys to today's shapes are hidden. I'll see you very soon for our next breakdown.
you.